Boldly Sri Gajanan Swami ki. Let's begin devotees with our opening prayer. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Bhagavan He Ram, He Ram, He Ram, He Ram. हमें दया करो गुरुर ब्रह्मा गुरुर विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरु साक्षात् परम ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। ओम सिद्धि बुद्धि प्रदे देवी भुक्ति मुक्ति प्रदायिनी मंत्र मूर्ति सदा देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते। श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधार वरनो रघुबर बिमल यश जो दायक फलचार बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मुहि हरहु कलेश विकार सियापति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम हे नाथ मम संकट हरो हरि। बोली श्री गजानन स्वामी की जय। बैठ जाइए। We join together our chaupais.
नाशा रामचंद्र की जय शरणम। वंदो पवन कुमार कलबन पावक ज्ञान घन। जासु हृदय आकार बसहि राम शर छाप धर।
12 अक्षर मंत्र। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We concentrate on that representation of Virat Swarup. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
While the puja is in progress, devotees will glorify Bhagavan Sri Ram, Bhagavan Sri Krishna through Silva Kirtanam, or we make further preparations for our morning's devotion. Ram Krishna Hare Mukunda Murari Panduranga Panduranga Rama Krishna Hare Vitthal Vitthal Panduranga Rama Krishna Hare Vitthal Vitthal Panduranga Rama Krishna Hare Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama Ram Krishna Hare Mukunda Murari Ram Krishna Hare Mukunda Murari
Ram Krishna Hare Mukunda Murari
Panduranga Panduranga Ram Krishna Hare
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 Vitthal Vitthal 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 Panduranga Ram Krishna Hare
Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama
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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Jaya Jaya Rama
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jaya Jaya Rama
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama
Ram Krishna Hare Mukunda Murari
Ram Krishna Hare Mukunda Murari
Radhe Sham Radhe Sham
Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam
Radha Madhav Radhe Sham
Radha Madhav Radhe Shyam
Sitaram Sitaram
Sitaram Sitaram
Sita Vallabh Sitaram
Sita Vallabh Sitaram
Radha Mukunda Radhe Sham
Radha Mukunda Radhe Shyam
Radha Govind Radhe Sham
Radha Govind Radhe Shyam
He Radha Mukunda Radhe Sham
Radha Mukunda Radhe Shyam
Radha Govind Radhe Sham
Radha Govind Radhe Shyam
Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha
Radhe Govinda
Radhe Govinda
वृंदावन गोविंद
वृंदावन गोविंद
कृष्ण मुकुंद
कृष्ण मुकुंद
हे नंद नंदना ओ नंद नंदना हे नंद नंदना ओ नंद नंदना ओ नंद नंदना राधे गोविंद
राधे गोविंद
हे राधे गोविंद
राधे गोविंद
हे राधे गोविंद
राधे गोविंद
ओ राधे गोविंद।
राधे गोविंद।
बोले वृंदावन श्री कृष्ण चंद्र की जय।
बोले श्री आदिशक्ति दुर्गा माता की जय। जय भगवती देवी नमो वरदे, जय पाप विनाशिनी बहुफलदे, जय शुंभ निशुंभ कपाल धरे, प्रणमामि तु देवी नराति हरे। जय भगवती देवी नमो वरदे, जय भगवती देवी नमो वरदे, जय पाप विनाशिनी बहुफलदे, जय शुंभ निशुंभ कपाल धरे, प्रणमामि तु देवी नराति हरे। जय भगवती देवी नमो वरदे। जय चंद्र दिवाकर नेत्र धरे, जय पावक भूषित वक्र वरे, जय भैरव देह नीलीन परे, जय भैरव देह नीलीन परे, जय अंधक दैत्य विशोष करे, जय भगवती देवी नमो वरदे। जय महिष विमर्दिनी शूल करे, जय लोक समस्तक पाप हरे, जय देवी पितामह विष्णुनते, जय देवी पितामह विष्णुनते, जय भास्कर शक्र शिरोवनते, जय भगवती देवी नमो वरदे। जय षण्मुख सायुध ईशनुते, जय सागर गामिनी शंभुनुते, जय दुख दरिद्र विनाश करे, जय दुख दरिद्र विनाश करे, जय पुत्र कलत्र विवृद्धि करे, जय भगवते देवी नमो वरदे। जय देवी समस्त शरीर धरे, जय देवी समस्त शरीर धरे, जय नाक विदर्शिनी दुख हरे, जय व्याधि विनाशिनी मोक्ष करे, जय व्याधि विनाशिनी मोक्ष करे, जय वांछित दायिनी सिद्धि करे, जय भगवते देवी नमो वरदे, जय पाप विनाशिनी बहुफल दे, जय शुंभनि शुंभ कपाल धरे, प्रणमामि तु देवी नराति हरे, जय भगवते देवी नमो वरदे, जय भगवते देवी नमो वरदे, देवी नमो वरदे, देवी नमो वरदे। शीतले तुम जगत माता, शीतले तुम जगत पिता, शीतले तुम जगत धात्री, शीतलाय नमो नमः। Ma Shitala, that energy of the divine that cools, that removes disease. I will chant this Ganga Stuti composed by Tulsi Das ji. If you have any sort of medical condition, pain, suffering of body or mind, let this composition sink into you and you would experience that cooling effect of that energy, Ma Shitala. जय जय भगीरथ नंदनी, मुनिचे चकोर चंदनी, नर नाग विबुध बंदनी, जय जन्नु बालिका। जय जय भगीरथ नंदनी, मुनिचे चकोर चंदनी, नर नाग विबुध बंदनी, जय जन्नु बालिका। जय जय भगीरथ नंदनी, मुनिचे चकोर चंदनी, नर नाग विबुध बंदनी, जय जन्नु बालिका। जय जय भगीरथ नंदनी। विष्णु पर सरोर जासी, विष्णु पर सरोर जासी, ईस शीस पर विभासी, त्रिपद गासी पुण्य राशि, त्रिपद गासी पुण्य राशि, पाप क्षालिका। जय जय भगीरथ नंदिनी, मुनिचे चकोर चंदनी, नर नाग विबुध बंदनी, जय जन्नु बालिका। जय जय भगीरथ नंदिनी। बिमल विपुल बहसी बारी, बिमल विपुल बहसी बारी, शीतल त्रयतापहारी, भवर बर विभंग तर, भवर बर विभंग तर, तरंग मालिका जय जय भगीरथ नंदनी, मुनिचे चकोर चंदनी, नर नाग विबुध बंदनी, जय जन्नु बालिका। पुरुजन पूजो पहार, पुरुजन पूजो पहार, शोभित शशि धवल धार, भंजन भव भार भक्ति, भंजन भव भार भक्ति, कल्प थारिका जय जय भगीरथ नंदनी, मुनिचे चकोर चंदनी, नर नाग विबुध बंदनी, जय जन्नु बालिका जय जय। निज तत बासी बिहंग, निज तत बासी बिहंग, जल थर चर पशु पतंग, कीत चतुर तपस सब, कीत चतुर तपस सब, सरस पालिका जय जय भगीरथ नंदनी, मुनिचे चकोर चंदनी, नर नाग विबुध बंदनी, जय जन्नु बालिका जय जय। तुलसी तव तीर तीर, तुलसी तव तीर तीर, तुलसी तव तीर तीर, तुलसी तव तीर तीर, सुमिरत रघुवंश वीर, बिचरत मति देहि मोह, बिचरत मति देहि मोह, महिष कालिका जय जय भगीरथ नंदनी, मुनिचे चकोर चंदनी, नर नाग विबुध बंदनी, जय जन्नु बालिका जय जय भगीरथ नंदनी, मुनिचे चकोर चंदनी, नर नाग विबुध बंदनी, जय जन्नु बालिका, जय जन्नु बालिका, जय जन्नु बालिका। बोल श्री गंगा माता की है। दुर्गा अम्बा भवानी हो जय जय, दुर्गा अम्बा भवानी, दुर्गा अम्बा भवानी, हो जय जय दुर्गा अम्बा भवानी, दुर्गा अम्बा भवानी, हो जय जय दुर्गा अम्बा भवानी,
दुर्गा अम्बा भवानी, हो जय जय दुर्गा अम्बा भवानी,
हो जय जय दुर्गा अम्बा भवानी, संकट हरणी मंगल करणी, संकट हरणी मंगल करणी, प्रणव स्वरूपिणी माता हो जय जय, प्रणव स्वरूपिणी माता हो जय जय,
प्रणव स्वरूपिणी माता हो जय जय,
दुर्गा अम्बा भवानी,
जय जय दुर्गा अम्बा भवानी,
हो जय जय दुर्गा अम्बा भवानी। दुर्गा अम्बा भवानी हो जय जय दुर्गा अम्बा भवानी।
दुर्गा अम्बा भवानी हो जय जय दुर्गा अम्बा भवानी।
हो जय जय दुर्गा अम्बा भवानी।
जय जय दुर्गा अम्बा भवानी।
संकट हरणी मंगल करनी। संकट हरणी मंगल करनी। प्रणव स्वरूपिणी माता हो जय जय। प्रणव स्वरूपिणी माता हो जय जय। प्रणव स्वरूपिणी माता हो जय जय। प्रणव स्वरूपिणी माता हो जय जय दुर्गा अम्बा भवानी। हो जय जय दुर्गा अम्बा भवानी। दुर्गा अम्बा भवानी हो जय जय दुर्गा अम्बा भवानी। दुर्गा अम्बा भवानी हो जय जय दुर्गा अम्बा भवानी। हो जय जय दुर्गा अम्बा भवानी। हो जय जय दुर्गा अम्बा भवानी। परमेश्वरी जय दुर्गा। जगदीश्वरी जय अम्बा। जय दुर्गा जय दुर्गा महामाया जगदम्बा। परमेश्वरी जय दुर्गा। जगदीश्वरी जय अम्बा।
परमेश्वरी जय दुर्गा। जगदीश्वरी जय अम्बा।
जय दुर्गा जय दुर्गा महामाया जगदम्बा।
जय दुर्गा महामाया जगदम्बा।
परमेश्वरी जय दुर्गा। जगदीश्वरी जय अम्बा।
परमेश्वरी जय दुर्गा। जगदीश्वरी जय अम्बा।
हे माता विश्वमोहिनी देवी जगदम्बा।
हे माता विश्वमोहिनी देवी जगदम्बा।
हे माता विश्वमोहिनी देवी जगदम्बा।
माता विश्वमोहिनी देवी जगदम्बा।
जय दुर्गा महामाया जगदम्बा। जय दुर्गा महामाया जगदम्बा परमेश्वरी जय दुर्गा जगदीश्वरी जय अम्बा
परमेश्वरी जय दुर्गा जगदीश्वरी जय अम्बा
जय दुर्गा महामाया जगदम्बा
जय दुर्गा महामाया जगदम्बा
आनंद रूपिणी माता भवानी देवी 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 जगदम्बा
जय दुर्गा महामाया जगदम्बा जय दुर्गा महामाया जगदम्बा परमेश्वरी जय दुर्गा जगदीश्वरी जय अम्बा
परमेश्वरी जय दुर्गा जगदीश्वरी जय अम्बा
जय दुर्गा महामाया जगदम्बा जय दुर्गा महामाया जगदम्बा महामाया जगदम्बा महामाया जगदम्बा मंगल की सेवा सुन मेरी देवा हाथ जोड़ तेरे द्वार खरे पान सुपारी ध्वजा नारियल ले ज्वाला तेरी भेंट धरे मंगल की सेवा सुन मेरे देवा हाथ जोड़ तेरे द्वार खरे पान सुपारी ध्वजा नारियल ले ज्वाला तेरी भेंट धरे हो मैया ले ज्वाला तेरी भेंट धरे सुन जगदम्बे न कर विलम्बे संतन के भंडार भरे संतन प्रतिपाली सदा खुशहाली जय काली कल्याण करे हो मैया जय काली कल्याण करे हो मैया बुध विधाता तू जगमाता मेरा कारज सिद्ध करे चरण कमल कालिया आसरा शरण तुम्हारी आन परे ओ मैया शरण तुम्हारी आन परे जब जब भीड़ परे भक्तन पर तब तब आय सहाय करे संतन प्रतिपाली सदा खुशहाली जय काली कल्याण करे हो मैया जय काली कल्याण करे हो मैया गुरु के बार सकल जग मोह्यो, तरुणी रूप अनूप धरे, माता होकर पुत्र खिलावे, भार्या होकर भोग करे, ओ मैया भार्या होकर। शुक्र सुखदाई सदा सहाई, संत खरे जयकार हरे, ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश सास फल, लिए भेंट तेरे द्वार खरे, ओ मैया लिए भेंट तेरे द्वार खरे। अतल सिंहासन बैठी माता, सिर सोने कर छत्र फिरे, संदन प्रतिपाली सदा खुशहाली, जय काली कल्याण करे, ओ मैया जय काली कल्याण करे, ओ मैया। पारशनिष्ठर कुमकुम वरणी, जबलुकर पर हुकुम करे, खाद खपर त्रिशूल हाथ लिए, रक्त बीज को भस्म करे, हो मैया रक्त बीज को भस्म करे। शुंभनी शुंभ पछारे माता, महिषासुर को पकड़ डले, संदन प्रतिपाली सदा खुशहाली, जय काली कल्याण करे, ओ मैया जय काली कल्याण करे, ओ मैया। आदित्य वारी आदि भवानी, अपने जन को कष्ट हरे, कपित होय कर दानव मारे, चंद मुंड सब चूर करे, ओ मैया चंद मुंड सब चूर करे। जब तुम देखियो दया रूप हो, पल में संकट दूर तरे, संदन प्रतिपाली सदा खुशहाली, जय काली कल्याण करे, ओ मैया जय काली कल्याण करे, ओ मैया। सोम स्वभाव धरियो मेरी माता, जन की अर्ज कबूल करे, सिंह पीठ पर चढ़ी भवानी, अतल भवन में राज करे, ओ मैया अतल भवन में राज करे। दर्शन पावे मंगल गावे, सिद्ध साधक तेरी भेंट धरे, संदन प्रतिपाली सदा खुशहाली, जय काली कल्याण करे, ओ मैया जय काली कल्याण करे, ओ मैया। ब्रह्मा वेद पढ़े तेरे द्वारे, शिव शंकर हरि ध्यान करे, इंद्र कृष्ण तेरी करे आरती, चमर कुबेर दुलाय करे, ओ मैया चमर कुबेर दुलाय करे। जय जननी जय मातु भवानी, अचल भुवन में राज करे, संतन प्रतिपाली सदा खुशहाली, जय काली कल्याण करे, ओ मैया जय काली कल्याण करे, ओ मैया जय काली कल्याण करे, ओ मैया जय काली कल्याण करे। बोल श्री आदिशक्ति दुर्गा माता की जय, बोल श्री काली माता की जय। Devotees, time after time, we are all faced with challenges in life, and we all seek to overcome those challenges. In terms of life as a whole, we always seek out those who we think could help us when we are in physical pain or mental pain. religions across the world, at their deepest level, give the same sort of principles. It is just a case that these religions are dressed differently based on the place of origin, the culture. But if we remove this dressing, we find very similar principles across the board. Today I present to you 9 doctors that we can go to when we have trouble, when we have pain. It applies to everyone. But the thing is that these doctors don't charge you a fee, because these doctors are available to you at all times. Based on my analysis of Hindu philosophy, Buddhist philosophy, Chinese, Japanese, Eastern philosophy mainly, you find these principles that I'm going to call 9 doctors. I will describe them to you, and these doctors will be your first port of call. Now remember, these days when you have an illness in the hospital, you normally have a main doctor, but you really have a team of doctors that look after you with different specialities. So think of these 9 doctors I'm going to explain as forming a team that could take care of you in your life. So let's go. Number 1, the first doctor. When you feel ill, when you're down, or even under regular circumstances, the first doctor that you should go to, meaning the first doctor or practice that you should try, is being in nature. Being in nature. So, as society has developed, we have wonderful homes, and we spend most of our time indoors. But this connection that we all have with nature is very healing. So what do I mean being in nature? 1, exposure to sunshine. Being out in the sun is very beneficial for all of us, and it could heal you. For example, sunlight helps you produce vitamin D in your body, and it produces feel-good hormones, simply put. Not only that, but if you expose yourself to sunlight in the morning, those of you who have insomnia or cannot sleep in the night, it will make it easier for you to get your rest in the night time if you expose yourself to sunlight in the morning time. Another practice is walking barefoot on grass. So now everybody wants to, wear shoes, protect your foot, don't go outside walking like that. But our ancestors were walking barefoot a lot of places. Well, before we had a lot more grass and whatnot. But this act of walking barefoot on grass, if you are feeling ill, serves again to connect you with the environment that we are all part of. The green color of the grass reduces your tension, and your stress levels are reduced. So again, this is being in nature. So of course you could see now the practice we have of offering jal in the morning. Aside from other explanations, simply put, it exposes you to sunlight, and they say take off your shoes and offer the jal. Why? Well, yes, you want to show some respect, but you want to contact the ground with your feet. Okay? And so these practices put together is like a little doctor in the morning time. They're taking care of you for the day. You see? So even if you don't buy into all the fancy explanations, if this is for your own benefit, you have this doctor of standing barefoot, offering a gel, but most importantly being in that sunlight. And then you add to that mantra which helps your mind. You can see it's an integrated practice. And finally, being in nature, how about gardening? Most of our ancestors were agriculturalists. They spend a lot of time outside. And this practice of gardening keeps you active, and it also helps you mentally. So I know many of you here have your own little gardens, or try to have gardens, whether, for aesthetic purposes or to grow your own food. That is great. And you keep doing that. So, we have evidence that these things work. So for example, in Japan, there's a place called Okinawa. And people there live, in general, more than 100 years old. And researchers studied them to find out, well, what are they doing to live such a good life? And they're all healthy, by the way. So they're not sickly, 100 and lying down in a bed. They're 100 and more and active, moving around. And so they all garden. Our ancestors have this tradition of gardening and being in nature. So that's number one, the first doctor, being in nature. Remember, this is not just information. This is something for you to use. So you're not feeling too well? Go outside. Spend some time outside. Don't remain cooped up inside of your room. Or in the worst case, if you're in the hospital somewhere, see if you could look outside, look at the trees, get some fresh air, sunshine. It would help you. Second doctor, our diet. Most of our health problems come from what we eat. Now, in the past, we used to treat food like fuel. Fuel, you need energy, eat food, you could go. But now food has become an indulgence. You eat food because you like it, how it tastes nice, and you eat plenty. But this has caused a lot of problems for all of us around the world, especially locally with obesity and these other things. So we have to pay attention to our diet, to what we eat. If you're not feeling well, you have an illness, you need to start trying to go on a good diet versus a bad diet. And what do I mean? The first thing is, everybody needs to drink a lot of water. It might sound strange, but now you're drinking, sweet drink and juice and all kind of thing, alcohol. But remaining hydrated, getting enough water in your body is made up of mostly water. It's critically important. And sometimes people feel they're hungry, but actually it's really thirst. They're dehydrated. So drink water. Drink a glass of water first thing in the morning, throughout the day, and it would help you. You would see your conditions improve. Okay? With respect to food, of course, we all know the advice, eat whole foods as much as possible. What do I mean? The more food is processed, packaged, the worse it is for you. That is it in essence. The faster you eat something as it comes from its natural state, say the ground, fruits from the trees, however you get it naturally, the less processing it has, the better it is for you. And not only that, but it has been shown that people who have a predominantly plant-based diet are in general healthier. Okay? So you all know this. But of course your diet also affects your mood. So if you find you're always cranky, right? You wake up in the morning vexed. From the time you turn your face and you see your husband's face, you get vexed. What you should try to do is adjust the diet, because some of these foods, flour for instance, cause a lot of people to always be in a bad mood, depressed, in a certain state of mind. So we have what's called the elimination diet. Try to cut off things and then slowly add back and see what makes a difference for you. It's a strange thing because one rule doesn't apply for everybody. One person might eat flour and be fine. Another person will eat flour and feel, lethargic, depressed. Biology is very complex. So the idea is you have to try it out and see what works for you. Now you like to listen to everybody and read everything on the internet. Not everything applies to you, but try it out and see what works for you. Okay? So the second doctor is diet, what we consume. Before you run off to the doctor and this and that for them to pump your medication and do all sort of things, try to adjust your diet on your own and see if that makes a difference. But some people just can't give up the KFC. This is KFC country. But you need to try Otherwise, you're always going to be sickly. The third doctor is breathing, your breath. And this is something that's always available to you, but people pay no attention to it. Deep breathing, and this has been mentioned many times. If you're feeling anxious, ill, you need to stop what you're doing, focus on your breath, and the simplest technique is belly breathing, meaning that you fill your stomach up, feel it expand, and breathe out through your mouth, slowly. You do that a few times. If you get angry, you are anxious, you are depressed, whatever it may be, this third doctor of breathing is a tool that you have to feel better in 2 or 3 minutes. You just have to know to do it. When you wake up in the morning, you breathe. Those of you who have, yoga practice or Pilates or whatever it is you're into, this breathing exercise is very important to keep yourself healthy, to keep your mind stable. Okay? That's the third doctor. The fourth doctor is exercise. So, in addition to the pandemic of COVID-19, we had another pandemic together with it. That is the pandemic of sitting down too much, being inactive. Human beings were designed to move. But again, with technology, comfort, we have couch potatoes instead. And if you don't move around on a daily basis, then you are going to get sick. Diabetes and all these things, lifestyle diseases, they're going to affect you. So, in the past, people were working a lot outdoors. Moving for the whole day, it wasn't such a problem. Now, because we're in front of computers most of the time, sitting down most of the time, you have to make time in the day to move, to exercise, to get out there. And as I mentioned before, you could see exercise has breathing in it. It has the nature part of it. So go and exercise out in nature. Yes, you could buy a treadmill and put it inside and run in front of a screen like a rat, but it wouldn't be as effective as if you get outside to do your exercise. You understand? So that's the fourth doctor. And the fifth one related to exercise is enough rest. So many people now in the rat race of life may be working multiple jobs, and I completely understand it has to be done. But if you don't find enough time to get rest, sleep, you don't sleep properly, then what is going to happen is that you eventually going to shut down. There is something known as sleep debt. You know what a debt is? A debt is something you have to repay. If you go for years, say you're working shift, and you're not getting enough sleep, or you don't make back up that sleep, what is going to happen to you is that all of your cognitive functions going to drop. Your physical functions going to drop. Diseases again going to, come up for you. And so you need to repay that debt of sleep. You have to get enough rest. So again, if you have trouble sleeping in the night, ease off the coffee and the tea with caffeine. Go in the sunshine in the morning. Reset your biological clock. Because you don't seem to realize, devotees, this is the funny thing, that we're all doing these things to ourselves by the choices that we make, and then complain that we're sick. You understand? So rest is critically important. Those are 5 doctors. Now those 5 doctors have to do with, the environment, what we consume, physical things, okay? But what about our, mental doctors? You have psychiatrists, psychologists, and whatnot. So what about our mental lives? What are the doctors for those? The 6th doctor is a sense of purpose. I mentioned this some time ago. The Japanese call this ikigai. Ikigai really is finding a sense of purpose to your life. And if you have a sense of purpose, devotees, then you never retire. This retirement thing is not an Eastern concept. Your purpose remains with you till you die. And this is why some older people, when they retire, they start to get dementia, they decline, because they lose the sense of purpose that they had. So whatever it is you do, you need to maintain the sense of purpose or ikigai in your life. And to make it clear, to remind you, especially the young ones, remember, with a sense of purpose, you have to answer 4 questions. What do I enjoy doing? But it can't be that alone. It has to be what I enjoy doing and what I am good at. Also, it has to be what the world needs and what I can get paid for. Understand? So young people come to us, and ask, well, I don't know what to do with my life. You have to find this answer on your own. But just telling somebody do what you like is nonsensical. You could do what you like, but you will starve. You have to do what you like, but also be good at it. So, somebody might like to sing, but singing it like them. So if you like something, but you're not good at it, then what's the point? You could still do it as a hobby, but is that your ikigai, your purpose? So what you like to do, what you're good at doing, what the world needs, you have to match it up now to the world because you have to live, and what you can get paid for. And make no mistake, devotees, money is important. It just depends on how you manage it. So if you are rich and you're still running behind money, then something's wrong with you mentally, no contentment. But if you are poor and you have no money to manage, your life and the lives of your family, then you are suffering. As Ramayana says, poverty is suffering. So there's the idea of just enough. What you need as a baseline to live. You need food, shelter, maybe a little entertainment, social interaction, good. But beyond that, it is just greed. Okay? So again, young people especially, keep that in mind. And so this sense of purpose, in Okinawa there was this guy, he was 102 years old. And his sense of purpose, he had 2 prize bulls, and he used to go every day and take care of them. Take care of them, look after them. He would exercise and whatnot by moving around, taking care of them. And that was his ikigai. So yours might be family, faith, service to society, some whatever. But the point is that you have to find your purpose. If you don't find your purpose or have a purpose, you're going to decline cognitively and otherwise. Okay? The 7th doctor is what we call your attitude to life. So some people have a very negative attitude to life. Some people have a positive attitude. Generally speaking, those people who have a positive attitude, or let me use a better word, because you see, positive doesn't mean you're happy all the time, Positive is like age chale. It means that you have to see the best in every situation. If things don't go your way, you have to think, well, how could I make the best of it? Something bad happens, you ask yourself, well, what have I learned? Am I stronger because of this? This is a, inverted commas, positive attitude. Okay? And people who have this attitude live for a long time, mostly disease-free. But those who have a negative attitude, a complaining attitude, everything always wrong, then something always happens to them. Okay? So this positive attitude is important. And this relationship with time, well, currently in the world we have what's called hurry sickness. Not curry sickness, hurry sickness. Hurry. Yeah, rushing to do all these things. On the opposite end of the spectrum, we have Trinidad time. People just don't care, they don't show up, they don't know what they have to do. A balance is necessary where you don't overwhelm yourself with all of these things. But at the same time, you try to get done what you have to get done. So this attitude to life is critically important. This is the 7th doctor. We're coming to the end. The 8th doctor is what we refer to as your social network. And I do not mean Facebook. Not Facebook, not Instagram, not anything else. I'm talking your physical social network. When you come to the temple, you have people that you interact with. In Okinawa, for example, they have something called a moai, I believe. These people are together for their entire lives. These ladies come together, men come together, every day they drink, not alcohol, they eat and drink, they talk, they play games, they engage in activities. This social network, social support is very important. Isolation, devotees, kills old people. Isolation kills old people. So it is good to maintain this sort of social network relationship with your friends as you age, as you get older. And the last doctor I'll end with is, maybe you can guess it, spirituality. The ninth doctor is spirituality, religion, whatever. The idea is that you believe or you understand that there is something bigger than yourself. Let me put it like that. Spirituality. So again, the Okinawans, I'm just using them as an example. You have many sages in India, around the world, but just let me use the Okinawans for now. They're very spiritual people, and they practice their indigenous religion, which is very similar again to, to ours, to Eastern religions, where they believe that, there's one spiritual energy in everything. This is what they believe, this is how they live, this is what they are part of. And funnily enough, traditionally, the religion there was run by women. So the women were the priestesses. And maybe that's why they live so long, because when men take over, they kill everything. The women, if you think about it, are in tune with nature, mother, as we try to, sing this morning. The aspect of one divine as mother, caring, love, movement, nature, all of these things, the same principle. So the women were the priestesses. And they would still go and meditate and pray for health, for peace, whatnot. And every village had their own priestess. And they would guide the entire community like that. And they lived blissfully so long. But when you have men in charge, you have war taking place all over. Men and their ego fighting things all over the place. And look at what is happening. So what I'm saying is that having spirituality, something to hold on to, something that you believe or you know to be true, that is critically important, and it will take you through difficult times. So let me summarize then. We've spoke about 9 doctors. These are solutions that you could try on your own before going to, hardcore medicine, right? Surgery and different sort of medication. Try these things first. And of course, if they don't work, then you move on for medical treatment, of course. But try these first. The 7 doctors, in summary, are 1, being in nature. 2, watch your diet, what you consume. 3, breathing, use your breath to help you control your mind. 4, exercise. 5, get enough rest. 6, have a sense of purpose. What is your purpose? You need to know that. 7, your attitude to life, your resilient attitude to life. 8, having a good social network support system. And 9, spirituality should be at the core of what you do. That love that you have for yourself must extend now as love for others. Okay? So, I don't think there's anything else. If you think of anything else, let me know. But in my mind, these 9 capture all the doctors that you really need to be okay in life. Okay? At this point here, I'll conclude. Bole Sri Adi Shakti Durga Mata Ki Jai.
Bole Vrindavan Sri Krishna Chandra Ki Jai. So devotees, you have a formula for good health. And if you analyze really, medicine, we all turn towards medicine, but there are 2 types. Newtonian medicine and vibrational medicine. What Panatumesh is putting to us can be classified as vibrational medicine. Tapping into energy, which is free. Newtonian medicine, we go to the doctors, we pay a certain amount of money, we get injection. This is stopgap measure. But unless we get back, as he's mentioned to nature, vibrational medicine. This is where Ayurvedic medicine comes in a lot. Vibrations, everything is vibration, energy vibrating. Whole idea is to create a positive energy in whatever you do. Try it and see. And energy is all around. What you eat, what you think, what you see, what you feel, everything. Energy. Everything is energy vibrating. He had broken it down very simply in simple practices. But just remember, Newtonian, vibrational. Newtonian medicine Time and again, to get instant relief, you may need some external force, substance. But vibrational medicine is a daily practice. Join me as we perform a simple bhajan, surrendering ourselves to our Lord, that divine light, to bless us with the right wisdom, to do the right things in life. Bearing in mind, of course, that important fact that everything takes place in time. If I fail to do what I have to do today, then sometime in the future I have to go it over. Nobody can go forward unless you learn the lessons. Life is some total of experiences. But we have been saying, man proposes, God disposes and exposes. But everything in time. So whatever we do, bear it in mind that time is of essence. बड़ा नहीं इंसान भगवान, बड़ा नहीं भगवान, आसमान धरती से कहता समय बड़ा बलवान. So if you don't learn the lesson today, you have to learn it tomorrow. If not next life, so why not learn it today? This wisdom should prevail. And always remember, we have been hearing time and again, today is what counts. Now is what counts, not tomorrow. As we say, tomorrow never comes. When it comes to tomorrow, it's today. What is today but now? So we make the right effort right now. Let's not waste time. So we surrender to our Lord and ask for our guidance, that life experiences, whatever comes to us, will help us to attain to that state of perfect health, both materially, spiritually. आज अंधेरे में है हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान. That the sun removes all darkness. So, Lord, we need that wisdom, Gyan, to remove the darkness of ignorance from our lives. So we will have the right understanding, and not only understanding, but the ability to do what we are supposed to do, to help us as we go through this wonderful journey of life, with its ups and downs, trials and tribulations, with its dualities, all of which help us to become better, help us to realize who we are and what we are. The dualities of life are essential to help us to practice the process of negation, to rise beyond. They are necessary. Grant me that wisdom, O Lord. Gyan ka suraj chamka de Bhagwan. So we join devotees, simple, understand what you're saying. आज अंधेरे में है हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान. आज अंधेरे में है हम इंसान. भटक रहे हम राह दिखा दे, भगवन राह दिखा दे. कदम कदम पर किरण बिछा दे, भगवन किरण बिछा दे. कदम कदम पर किरण बिछा दे, भगवन किरण बिछा दे. सबूत करा दे, ज्योति से पहचान, ज्योति से पहचान। हम तो है संतान तिहारे, प्रभु संतान तिहारे। हम तो है संतान तिहारे, प्रभु संतान तिहारे। तेरी दया पर हम अधिकारी, प्रभु है हम अधिकारी। तेरी दया पर हम अधिकारी, प्रभु है हम दुनिया होवे सुखी हमारी। Devotees, when people go through life, many things happen. We seek that wisdom. At the end of it all, we come to realize, after everything, you have to go through the processes. You come to realize what is the real wisdom, what is the solution. And as all the sages have done, Sutikshan Muni, Shivarima, Sharbhang Muni, Kaghbhushun, Mirabai, Tulsidas, Kabir Das, Surdas, blind poet, so many others. What was the solution, devotees? There was nothing like surrendering to that divine force, which is indefinable, indescribable, inexpressible. The Vedas have said, neti, neti, not this, not that. How can one define that all-powerful? Just simple words we have to say because we don't know better. That all-powerful force. He is everything, as we say. And I say he guardedly. But then those who would look at us have been feminists or whatever, they will say, why we say God is a he? Why God can't be a she? God is whatever you make that Lord out to be. These differentiations beyond that Lord, we create those differentiations. The end result is that we realize, surrender to that Supreme. There is nothing like it. You know, I mentioned this before, there was once a sage who loved to do kirtan. Kirtan was his very life. He was a kirtanandi. Wherever he would go, doing kirtan. But as fate would have it, once, standing next to a wall, he and other people, the wall collapsed. And as fate would have it, they died. So notice doing the kirtan doesn't prevent you from dying. It doesn't really prevent how you die also. Karmas have to take its effect. But the bones were all mixed up. And the disciples of the sage, this great Swami, they wanted to get his bones to perform the final rites. How to do it when all the bones were mixed up? There was another learned Swami who was passing by, and he was advised for the predicament of the disciples of this sage. And he said, don't worry, I will get the bones of your master. And they said, you know what he did? Every piece of bone he got, he picked it up, put it to his ear. I don't know whether he had special type of hearing powers, what? Certain bones he rejected, and certain bones he passed on. This is that of your Swami, your master. At the end of it all, he was questioned, how do you know which are the bones of my master? And then the Swami said, your master performed kirtan. Every pore in his body, even down to the bones of his body, the name of the Lord is reverberating, the power of kirtan. So I can differentiate, he told them. This made a difference between your master and everybody else. The power of kirtan devotees, where we have heard Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, lion and deer would sit side by side, forgetting enmity. The vibration, as we mentioned earlier on, so positive. These lower forms of creation forgot their own enmity, their nature. This is the power of kirtan. Prem, true love. So devotees, no matter what we do in life, as the last Dr. Pandit Umesh mentioned, spirituality, it begins with religiousness, yes, but you go that way. It's a simple solution in this age Kali Yuga. Chant and be happy. The safest, surest, best method in this age Kali Yuga to please our Lord through Kirtanam, genuinely done. Kag Hoshun the Nirgir Parbat, that they said he would sit under the Bat tree, the fourth Prahar, and do nothing else except chant the glories of the Lord. These glories have a power. The name has power. So devotees, for a few moments, why not carry out the right practices to help us? Follow me, join me. Well, I shouldn't say follow me, join me. Ram Krishna Vasudeva Achyut Ananta Nilakanta Mahadeva Sridharayananta Ram Krishna Vasudeva Achyut Ananta 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 Nilakanta Mahadeva Sridharayananta Nilakanta Mahadeva Sridharayananta Nilakanta Mahadeva Sridharayananta Nilakanta Mahadeva Sridharayananta Ram Krishna Vasudeva Achyut Ananta Ram Krishna Vasudeva Achyut Ananta Gopi Janodhar Radha Lola Gopi Janodhar Radha Lola Gopi Janodhar Radha Lola Gopi Janodhar Radha Lola Bhakta Janodhar Bhakti Gan Lola Bhakta Janodhar Bhakti Gan Lola Bhakta Janodhar Bhakti Gan Lola Ram Krishna Vasudeva Achyut Ananta Ram Krishna Vasudeva Achyut Ananta Nilakanta Mahadeva Sridharayananta Nilakanta Mahadeva Sridharayananta Ram Krishna Vasudeva अच्युत अनंत।
राम कृष्ण वासुदेव अच्युत अनंत।
गोपी जनोधर राधा लोला।
गोपी जनोधर राधा लोला।
गोपी जनोधर राधा लोला।
गोपी जनोधर राधा लोला।
भक्त जनोधर भक्ति गनलोला।
भक्त जनोधर भक्ति गनलोला।
भक्त जनोधर भक्ति गनलोला।
भक्त जनोधर भक्ति गनलोला।
राम कृष्ण वासुदेव अच्युत अनंत।
राम कृष्ण वासुदेव अच्युत अनंत।
नीलकंठ महादेव श्रीधर अनंत।
नीलकंठ महादेव श्रीधर अनंत।
नीलकंठ महादेव श्रीधर अनंत।
नीलकंठ महादेव श्रीधर अनंत।
राम कृष्ण वासुदेव अच्युत अनंत।
राम कृष्ण वासुदेव।
राम कृष्ण वासुदेव अच्युत अनंत।
राम कृष्ण वासुदेव अच्युत अनंत।
Devotees, we keep a focus on Bhagavan Sri Krishna. मन मोहना कृष्ण कुंज विहारी। यादव माधव रंग विठल मुरारी। घन श्याम सुंदरा हे गिरिधारी। यादव माधव रंग विठल मुरारी। The fun names of Kanhaiya and devotees. So we don't say much, we just chant the names. If you can put the mind to work, you visualize Kanhaiya. Manamohan. Manamohana Krishna Kunja Vihari.
मनमोहना कृष्ण कुंज विहारी।
मनमोहना कृष्ण कुंज विहारी। यादव माधव रंग विठल मुरारी। यादव माधव रंग विठल मुरारी।
माधव रंग विठल मुरारी।
घन श्याम सुंदरा हे गिरिधारी।
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 यादव माधव रंग विठल मुरारी।
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 मनमोहना कृष्ण कुंज विहारी।
मनमोहना कृष्ण कुंज विहारी
घनश्याम सुंदरा हे गिरिधारी
घनश्याम सुंदरा हे गिरिधारी
घनश्याम सुंदरा हे गिरिधारी
घनश्याम सुंदरा हे गिरिधारी
हे गिरिधारी
हे गिरिधारी
हे गिरिधारी
हे गिरिधारी
यादव माधव रंग विठल मुरारी
यादव माधव रंगा विठ्ठल मुरारी
यादव माधव रंग विठल मुरारी
यादव माधव रंगा विठ्ठल मुरारी
मनमोहना कृष्ण कुंज विहारी
मनमोहना कृष्ण कुंज विहारी
यादव माधव रंग विठल मुरारी
यादव माधव रंगा विठ्ठल मुरारी
यादव माधव रंग विठल मुरारी
यादव माधव रंगा विठ्ठल मुरारी
विठल मुरारी
विठ्ठल मुरारी
हे विठल मुरारी
विठ्ठल मुरारी
विठल मुरारी रंगा विठल मुरारी
विठ्ठल मुरारी रंग विठ्ठल मुरारी
विठल मुरारी रंगा विठल मुरारी
विठ्ठल मुरारी रंग विठ्ठल मुरारी
विठल मुरारी रंगा विठल मुरारी
विठ्ठल मुरारी
विठल मुरारी विठल मुरारी विठल मुरारी रंगा विठल मुरारी विठल मुरारी रंगा विठल मुरारी विठल मुरारी रंगा विठल मुरारी विठल मुरारी रंगा
विठ्ठल मुरारी
यादव माधव रंगा विठल मुरारी मनमोहना कृष्ण कुंज विहारी. Devotees, so we will go on a simple journey again, Kirtan, while we make preparation for the final Havan. Again, Kanhaiya, visualize Kanhaiya. So, little medley, short, we visualize Kanhaiya in your own way. Nandalala, Yadu Nandalala.
yadu nandlala
Hey Nandalala, Yadu Nandalala.
nandlala yadu nandlala
Vrindavan Govindalala.
vrindavan govindlala
Vrindavan Govindalala.
vrindavan govindlala
Radha Lula Nandalala.
radha lola nandlala
Oh Radha Lula Nandalala.
radha lola nandlala
Keshava Madhava Nandalala.
केशव माधव नंदलाला
Keshava Madhava Nandalala.
केशव माधव नंदलाला
Hey Nandalala, Yadu Nandalala.
नंदलाला यदु नंदलाला
Vrindavan Govindalala.
वृंदावन गोविंदलाला
Krishna Kanhaiya Nandalala.
कृष्ण कन्हैया नंदलाला
Oh Krishna Kanhaiya Nandalala.
कृष्ण कन्हैया नंदलाला
Hey Murali Manohar Nandalala.
मुरली मनोहर नंदलाला
Hey Murali Manohar Nandalala.
मुरली मनोहर नंदलाला
Hey Nandalala, Yadu Nandalala.
नंदलाला यदु नंदलाला
Vrindavan Govindalala.
वृंदावन गोविंद लाला,
श्याम मुरारी नंद लाला,
श्याम मुरारी नंद लाला,
ओ श्याम मुरारी नंद लाला,
श्याम मुरारी नंद लाला,
मनमोहन हे नंद लाला,
मनमोहन हे नंद लाला,
मनमोहन हे नंद लाला,
मनमोहन हे नंद लाला,
नंद लाला यदु 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 नंद लाला,
वृंदावन गोविंद लाला,
वृंदावन गोविंद लाला,
नंद लाला यदु नंद 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 लाला,
यशोदानंदन गोपिका रंजन,
यशोदानंदन गोपिका रंजन,
यशोदानंदन गोपिका रंजन,
यशोदानंदन गोपिका रंजन,
ईश्वरम आनंदन जय,
ईश्वरम आनंदन
जय जय ईश्वरम आनंदन जय,
ईश्वरम आनंदन जय,
हे केशवा हे माधवा,
हे केशवा हे माधवा,
हे केशवा हे माधवा,
हे केशवा हे माधवा,
हा केशवा हा माधवा,
हा केशवा हा माधवा,
जय श्री राम सीताराम,
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 ईश्वरम आनंदन जय,
ईश्वरम आनंदन
जय जय ईश्वरम आनंदन जय,
ईश्वरम आनंदन जय,
हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे मुरारी,
हरे हरे कृष्णा हरे मुरारी,
हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे मुरारी,
हरे हरे कृष्णा हरे मुरारी,
जय जय गोवर्धन गिरिधारी,
जय जय गोवर्धन गिरिधारी,
जय जय गोवर्धन गिरिधारी,
जय जय गोवर्धन गिरिधारी,
गोवर्धन गिरिधारी,
गोवर्धन गिरिधारी,
गोवर्धन गिरिधारी,
गोवर्धन गिरिधारी,
राधा मोहन राधा जीवन,
राधा मोहन राधा जीवन,
राधा मोहन राधा जीवन,
राधा मोहन राधा जीवन,
मंगल कुंज बिहारी,
मंगल कुंज बिहारी,
हे मंगल कुंज बिहारी,
मंगल कुंज बिहारी,
जय हरे कृष्ण गोवर्धन गिरिधारी,
जय हरे कृष्णा गोवर्धन गिरिधारी,
जय हरे कृष्ण गोवर्धन गिरिधारी,
जय हरे कृष्णा गोवर्धन गिरिधारी,
राधा मोहन राधा जीवन,
राधा मोहन राधा जीवन,
राधा मोहन राधा जीवन,
राधा मोहन राधा जीवन,
मंगल कुंज बिहारी,
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 मंगल कुंज बिहारी।
बोले वृंदावन श्री कृष्ण चंद्र की जय।
We join in our final havan. Om Sri Man Mahagnaadhipatiye Swaha. Om Sri Gauri Mata Swaha. Om Sri Prithvi Mata Swaha. Om Sri Panchlokpal Devaye Swaha. ओम ह्रीं श्रीं चंडिकाय नमः स्वाहा। ओम ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुंडाय विच्चे स्वाहा। ओम ह्रीं श्रीं लक्ष्मीभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। ओम श्रीं ह्रीं सरस्वत्यै स्वाहा। ओम क्रीं काल्यै नमः स्वाहा। ओम श्री तारा देवी स्वाहा। ओम श्री त्रिपुर सुंदरी देवी स्वाहा। ओम श्री भुवनेश्वरी देवी स्वाहा। ओम श्री त्रिपुर भैरवी देवी स्वाहा। ओम श्री छिन्नमस्ता देवी स्वाहा। ओम श्री धूमावती देवी स्वाहा। ओम श्री बगलामुखी देवी स्वाहा। ओम श्री मातंगी देवी स्वाहा। ओम श्री कमला देवी स्वाहा। ओम श्री स्वाहा माताभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा। ओम श्री नवदुर्गा माताभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा। ओम ह्रीं षष्ठी देव्येभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा। ओम नमः शिवाय स्वाहा। ओम नमो भगवते नारायणाय स्वाहा। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय स्वाहा। ओम श्री सीतारामचंद्रायभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा। ओम श्री राधा कृष्णायभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा। ओम श्री हुं हनुमते नमः स्वाहा। ओम श्री आदित्य देवाय स्वाहा। ओम श्री चंद्र देवाय स्वाहा। ओम श्री मंगल देवाय स्वाहा। ओम श्री बुध देवाय स्वाहा। ओम श्री बृहस्पति देवाय स्वाहा। ओम श्री शुक्र देवाय स्वाहा। ओम श्री शनि देवाय स्वाहा। ओम श्री राहवे नमः स्वाहा। ओम श्री केतवे नमः स्वाहा। ओम श्री अगिन देवाय स्वाहा। ओम श्री इष्ट देवाय स्वाहा। ओम श्री कुल देवाय स्वाहा। ओम श्री स्थान देवाय स्वाहा। ओम श्री वास्तुदेवाय स्वाहा। ओम सर्वदेवता सर्वदेवीभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा। ओम श्री अनंत स्वरूपाय ब्रह्मणे नमः स्वाहा। ओम श्री गुरुवेभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। Please all stand, devotees. ओम नमः शंभवाय च मयोभवाय च। ओम नमः शंकराय च मयस्कराय च। ओम नमः शिवाय च शिवतराय च। ओम नमः शिवाय। ओम पूर्णमिदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णम् उदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम सर्वं वै पूर्णवं स्वाहा। ओम सर्वपापहरं दिव्यं गांग्यं निर्मलं जलम् आचमनं च मया दत्तं घृतां पुरुषोत्तमः। आचमन्यं समर्पयामि श्रीअगिन्देवाय नमो नमः। We join in final arati.
ओम जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे भक्त जनों के संकट दास जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे जो ध्यावे फल पावे दुख बिन से मन का सुख संपत्ति घर आवे
सुख संपत्ति घर आवे
कष्ट मिटे तन का
ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
मात पिता तुम मेरे शरण गहु किसकी
स्वामी शरण गहूँ किसकी।
तुम परमात्मा तुम अंतर्यामी।
स्वामी तुम अंतर्यामी।
पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर
पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर
तुम सबके स्वामी।
ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
तुम करुणा के सागर तुम पालन करता।
स्वामी तुम पालन करता।
दीन दयालु कृपालु
दीन दयालु कृपालु
कृपा करो भरता।
ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
तुम हो एक अगोचर सबके प्राणपति।
स्वामी सबके प्राणपति।
किस विधि मिलो दया में
किस विधि मिलो दया में
तुमको मैं कुमति।
ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
दीन बंधु दुख हरता तुम रक्षक मेरे। करुणा हस्त बढ़ावो
करुणा हस्त बढ़ाओ।
शरण परा तेरे।
ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
विषय विकार मिटाओ पाप हरो देवा।
स्वामी पाप हरो देवा।
श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ
श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ।
संतन की सेवा।
ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
ओम जय जगदीश हरे। स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे। भक्त जनों के संकट दास जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
हरे राम हरे राम हरे राम हरे हरे राम।
हरे राम
हरे राम हरे राम हरे राम हरे हरे राम। भज मन निश दिन प्यारे। भज मन निश दिन प्यारे। हरे राम हरे राम हरे राम हरे हरे राम। हरे राम हरे राम हरे राम हरे हरे राम। भज मन निश दिन प्यारे। 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 We join in closing prayer. शिव हरे शिव राम सखे प्रभु त्रिविध ताप निवारण विभु अज जनेश्वर यादव पाई मां शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरं शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरं प्रतिदिनं कुशलं जय मङ्गलं प्रतिदिनं कुशलं जय मङ्गलम् ॐ मङ्गलं भगवान् विष्णु मङ्गलं गरुडध्वज मङ्गलं पुण्डरीकाक्ष मङ्गलाय तनोहरि मङ्गलं भगवान् विष्णु मङ्गलं गरुडध्वज मङ्गलं गरुडध्वज मङ्गलं गरुडध्वज ॐ मन्त्रहीनं क्रियाहीनं भक्तिहीनं जनार्दनं यत् पूजितं मया देवा परिपूर्णं तदस्तु मे ॐ असतो मा सत्गमय ॐ तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय ॐ मृत्युर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेवं ॐ शान्ति 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 हरि ओम। हर हर महादेव, हर हर महादेव, हर हर महादेव। बोले श्री गजानन स्वामी की जय, आर शक्ति दुर्गा माता की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय। बोले श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय, बोले श्री स्वाहा माता की जय। Devotees, I don't believe we have any announcements this morning. So let me say blessings to Sarika, who sat for puja today. No special reason, but she is the chairperson of the management committee of the Gyanipa Kirtan Mandali. So blessings to you, Sarika, and keep up the good job that you've been doing. Let me also say a special welcome to Nirala and Shivam. I'm not sure. Every mask I can't tell, but I assume that is correct, right? Yes, right, okay. So, welcome to both of you, long-standing members of Gyanipak who reside in Florida. It's good to have you here with us today, so welcome to you. And, of course, blessings to all of you devotees. So, the Parmachar has asked me to remind you that the Gupta Navratra period is starting on Wednesday. So those of you who normally make sacrifices during this period, from Wednesday you can begin. Jai Sitaram. Blessings everybody. See you next week.